What's up, YouTube? It's another day with the one and only Billy J. And this is another episode of our Week Late and Dollar short series in which we review American Idol Season 14, Episode 26. And in this episode, we dwindle the contestants down to the final 5. And the theme for this week was Arena Anthems, which was a very broad range of musical acts, as you will see from the contestants' choices. And once again, the contestants each sang 2 songs, so I will give my review of each contestant as they came out in the first round. Also, now that the contestants are down to the final 5, that means only 5 contestants will be on the summer tour of American Idol. And it was also revealed that the winner of American Idol will perform the theme song for the Women's World Cup. Also, this night was the final time there will be an Idol fan save. So no more having to tweet "Save Vaughn." The first contestant to sing was Jax, and she sang "Are You Gonna Be My Girl" by Jet. I feel Jax has taken up the best performer mantle now that Kasim is out of the competition. And with this performance, I'm going to have to be very honest, I feel Jax has somehow lost her way. This wasn't the special Jax that I fell in love with, that would put her own stamp on songs and make them hers. It just seemed like it was Jax up there singing someone else's song. Performance-wise, I can't fault her. She's up there doing her thing, interacting with the crowd, up there dancing, and she was very entertaining. But it didn't click for me. And I totally feel that it was a wrong song choice. However, in the second round, she chose a much better song in White Flag by Dido. A great performance and great song choice. This is the Jax that I love and I want to see week in and week out. And this was by far my favorite kind of Jax. And for me, this performance was the performance of the night. Do songs more like this, and Jax will definitely be catapulted into the winner circle. But with more performances like Beat It or Are You Gonna Be My Girl as she did in the first round, and she loses the competition. And she loses me as a fan. She is so great and perfect and mesmerizing behind that piano. So perfect, I wish she would just stay there. And she could definitely still rock out, sort of like her version of You Give Love a Bad Name. She rocked out, she kicked the stool out and stood up and sang, and then went back to the piano. She could still rock out doing that. So for me, if Jax does that and takes songs and jacks them up, then she will win this competition, hands down. The next contestant was Smiling Nick, and he sang Harder to Breathe by Maroon 5. The performance of the song was very good. It was a very solid performance. It didn't wow me, but it certainly was a very solid performance from Nick. And I wouldn't necessarily say Nick is a frontrunner in this competition. I think that goes to Clark and Jax. But I definitely feel that Nick is definitely a dark horse in this competition. He could easily sneak up in there. And if anything, he could definitely become the next Daughtry. And Nick's second performance was Maggie May by Rod Stewart. And I feel that Nick made 2 great song choices. And I'm going to throw it out there that he was the only one that had 2 great song choices this night. And in his performance of Maggie May, we even heard some falsetto from Nick. Nick definitely knows who he is as an artist, and I stand by my prediction that Nick is definitely the dark horse. And quite arguably, the frontrunner, the beautiful Clark Beckham, was next, singing Yesterday by the Beatles. To me, in this performance, it sounded like Clark was mumbling the words when he was singing the lower register. So that kind of threw me off on this performance. Other than that, the performance was great. He definitely stood out with his song choice because everyone else sang big songs, and he decided to go with Yesterday. And I'm not sure if he was trying to be like Adam Lambert, in which that Adam Lambert did the same thing. While everyone else would be doing fast songs, and he would do a slow song. When everyone else was doing slow songs, he would do a more up-tempo song. So I don't know if that was Clark's angle going on with his song choice of yesterday, but he is nowhere near compared to Adam Lambert, because Adam Lambert took fast tempo songs and made them slower. And he did great rearrangements of the songs. While Clark didn't do much rearranging of this song, it's pretty much the way the Beatles performed it. You know, maybe a little longer runs, but that's about it. And to me, it was a very safe performance. But perhaps he needed a safe performance because he knew his next performance was extremely risky. And his second song choice was Boyfriend by Justin Bieber. I honestly don't know what to say about this performance. The song itself is absolutely terrible, and honestly, Clark singing it didn't make it any better. And I understand Clark wanting to take risks, but this was a total miss. And if I'm going to be honest, I feel Clark made two terrible song choices. Tiana was the last one safe, as she is sporting a new hairdo, and I almost didn't recognize her. And she sang Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus. To me, this was a very poor song choice and even poor performance. Perhaps if I was in the crowd, I would have liked the performance a little more. But for me, as a TV audience, I didn't get any interaction from her. She interacted with the crowd, touching hands and singing to them, but to the camera, she barely even looked into the camera. The song is terrible, and I don't know if it's the way they chose the verses, or perhaps she forgot the verses, but something was weird at the end. I personally didn't like the song choice, but I also keep forgetting that she's only 16. So I may give her slack for that poor song choice. And for her second song, Tiana sang Heaven by Bryan Adams. For me, this is quite an odd song choice. Granted, it's kind of like a ballady type song, but for me, it didn't quite fit for a 16-year-old to sing lines like looking back at our younger years. But that aside, she looked very elegant in her dress, and it was a much better song choice than her first one. But, like Harry, I'm also confused as far as what type of album that Tiana is going to be pumping out. And as I predicted last week, because of his outburst, Quentin was in the bottom two along with Vaughn. And honestly, I don't feel Quentin deserved to be in the bottom two because of his performances last week and then his resume so far. But I know his outburst rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, so they didn't vote for him, and it is what it is. So Quentin sang first for Survival, and he sang Light My Fire by The Doors. For me, the music part of this performance was very weird. It was almost like kind of like a groovy mix of the song, or a terrible karaoke version of the song. I personally didn't like the music part, but Harry loved it for whatever reason. But performance-wise from Quentin, like the way he sang the song was very Jim Morrison-esque. So it isn't like Quentin changed the arrangement or anything. It was just the musical part that was kind of weird. But like I said, the performance-wise wasn't too bad. There's of course some pitch problems near the end, but performance-wise it was okay. I didn't quite like the song choice. I think he could have picked a better song. And Quentin did for his second choice, which was Shake It Out by Florence and the Machine. And this was the Quentin that I like and I love. The performance was very Quentin-esque. It was moody. There's the fog all over the stage. He didn't rearrange the song, which I wish he would have. I wish he would have slowed the tempo down just a little bit. But he did perform a great performance of the song, and to me, it was one of his best. And the final contestant to perform was Vaughn, and he sang I'm Not the Only One by Sam Smith. The silky smoothness of Vaughn's voice fit perfectly for this song. And what's even better is that Vaughn didn't have any falsetto. And this was by far my favorite performance for the first round. And this was, I would have to say, Vaughn best performance. And I agree with Harry that I feel Vaughn is more of a ballad type singer, and that was made evident with his perfect song choice. But unfortunately, his second song choice was not so much. And Vaughn's second song choice was from one of my favorite songs and from my favorite band, and the song was Go Your Own Way by Fleetwood Mac. And being a big fan of Fleetwood Mac, I of course love this song, but definitely not Vaughn's performance of this song. And even though I'm a fan of this song, I was not a fan of his song choice to perform this song. I feel that if he wanted to perform a Fleetwood Mac song, he should have chosen a song like Rhiannon or even Landslide. Or he could have picked a completely different artist. He had such a perfect performance in the first round, and I was excited to hear him in the second round until I heard he was doing this song, and then I saw his performance. So it was very disappointing for me. So of course the bottom two was Quentin and Vaughn, and for me, they had the same type of performances where they picked a really good song and performance and then a really bad song and bad performance. And honestly, I feel Vaughn had hit a grand slam with his performance of the Sam Smith song. And it's weird because I feel that Vaughn obviously is the better singer, but Quentin knows who he is as an artist, and I feel that is way more important. But America voted, and they decided to keep Vaughn and send Quentin home. And it probably wasn't even close. So for me, I'm going to give my honest bottom two for this week. And my honest bottom two for the week is a surprising Clark and Tiana. Now this bottom two choice is solely based on their performances for the night and not their whole resume so far. And for me, Clark being in the bottom two was purely based on song choices. I feel Clark is the obvious frontrunner of the competition because he is beautiful and he has a great voice. But if he has more weeks like this with terrible song choices, then I feel he's going to lose his crown. And as far as Tiana, I still don't know who she is as an artist. She has a great voice, but no sense of direction. And she's been doing terrible in her song choices. However, in reality, the bottom two next week is going to be Vaughn and Tiana. Because I feel there's no way that Clark is going to end up in the bottom two being this close to the finale. Because there's too many little girls and moms voting for him. But like I said, Vaughn will end up for the 5th week in a row in the bottom two, and it will be Vaughn's swan song. Even though he only had one bad performance this week, there's some kind of disconnect between him and America that he keeps obviously ending up in the bottom two week after week. So I feel that next week he's finally going to be gone. And like Tiana, Vaughn is another person I have no idea who he is as an artist. They're both great singers, don't get me wrong, but I don't know who they are as artists, and they both seem kind of lost in the sauce. So leave a comment down below on who you think is going to be the bottom two, and were you surprised that Quentin got sent home? Because I'm not. And what was your favorite performance? Mine was obviously Jax's performance of White Flag by Dido. But Vaughn's performance of the Sam Smith song, I'm Not the Only One, was a very close second. And is Clark Beckham's crown finally falling off? I guess we'll find out next week. And remember, peace, love, unity, respect. Peace out, guys.